Good morning. It's 7:30 on your Thursday, December 21st. Welcome to Breakfast with Bridgett, live streaming on News 6 Plus and clickorlando.com. I'm your host, Bridgett Ellison. Hope you're having a great week so far. We're waking up chilly again this morning, but not quite as cold as the past couple of days. Meteorologist Jonathan Kegis is working hard on your pinpoint forecast back in the Weather Center, and we're gearing up toward our weekend and that countdown to Christmas. I know my kids are basically doing all the Spirit Week things at school. So today it's like holiday chaos, so they can wear all the holiday stuff they want. For me, it's just been trying to remember what day it is and how many days are left until I need to gas up the sleigh. Hi, Jonathan. I see you're there.
Hey,
How's it going?
it's going well. I was just you just got off our last well, not last cut in on the TV side of things, but I was swapping some things around so I can show you. We're talking about the Christmas forecast, so we're going to get
Oh,
into that a
yeah.
little bit.
Yeah, and I noticed, like this morning, it's not quite as bitter as we've been the past few days.
Yeah, too bad we didn't catch that Kia Center name change yesterday for the people swapping that up. I loved that yesterday. That was so cool. I don't know why I'm
Yes,
like it was awesome. It was
it
happening in
was.
real time on your show.
It was very cool, and it's just like sometimes if we hadn't been paying attention, we might have missed it.
I know. It was crazy stuff, but you're right. We're running about 10 degrees above where we were yesterday, so that puts us back in the 50s and 60s. Still might want the light jacket if you're just getting ready to head outside, but again, we'll take any improvements you get if you don't like this stuff. So temperatures now in the city, beautiful, mid-50s. We were talking about this on the show, Bridgett, that we did have some clouds out there. We're going to see a few breaks in those clouds as we go through the afternoon, and then it'll get us back to around 70. So if you are doing some of the last minute running around, be safe first and foremost. But it is going to be a little bit nicer weather-wise, at least warmer out there weather-wise. So you're not going to have any kind of rain to get in your way or anything like that. So this is what we were talking about. 50 degrees in Ocala. It's still a little chilly for us in Leesburg. We're at 49 right now. We are at 58 degrees in Sanford. Bunnell, we're at 56. Same for us in Palm Coast, Oviedo. If anybody's watching, we've got you at about 58 degrees as well. Bithlo and Christmas, we are in the mid-50s. So again, it is seasonably cool outside. You might still want the light jacket. All right, so now we are going to kind of look way out here. Well, not way out. I mean, Christmas is literally coming as we move into the next couple of days. But I want to draw your attention out here to that little swirl. You can clearly see it in the water vapor imagery. This is a big system. It's slamming California right now. This could end up going into giving some lucky people a white Christmas, mainly
Hmm.
in the foothills of the Rockies and then parts of the upper Midwest Northern Plains. Of course, we all know it. A white Christmas in Florida is more likely than not off the table every year. But across the country this year, there is going to be a lot of warmth and, relatively speaking, a lot of quiet weather. So when we're talking about the white Christmas potential, unless you're flying to the Denver area, somewhere in the higher
Oh.
elevations of the Rockies, or like west, South Dakota, Nebraska, North Dakota, you are out of luck. It's going to be a crazy few bunch that sees a white Christmas. That same system, though, long story short, is coming here. While it looks kind of menacing on the water vapor imagery, this is not going to be as intense for us as what we saw last weekend. But I do think for the back half of Christmas Day, once we get to the afternoon and evening, rain chances are going to start to go up a little bit. I don't think it's going to totally wash your day away, but we're going to be watching for that. So maybe we were talking about this, I think on Monday, if you get a bike or something, get out there the earlier the better in the Christmas
Okay.
morning to use it,
Okay.
because I think that rain chance really starts to increase. And then it might stay unsettled Tuesday and Wednesday as well. There are indications that front is going to get hung up. It's going to keep clouds around, the dreary weather, rain showers around. So we're kind of be in it, I think, for a couple days post-Christmas afternoon.
Okay. So get out there in the Christmas jammies and try out all the new wheels, is what you're
That's right.
telling us.
That's right.
Okay.
Don't open the next gift. If it's something outdoor, get out there, use it, and then come back in and finish
Okay.
what Santa brought you.
Otherwise, it's gonna that little bit of rain and stuff might be hanging around once it gets here.
I think
Okay.
so. I'm being a little dramatic when I say that.
Hmm.
I think even with when the rain starts to increase those chances, it's not going to be like what we saw on
Hmm.
Saturday with it just be that constant wind-driven rain, things like that. So it'll be a little more dodging. So if there's a little shower out there, come back in, then go back out. So it's gonna be one of those kind of deals again. We
Oh
just have
yeah.
to have the Pinpoint weather app in hand, free download, by the way, to kind of track that, pinpoint that for you, and work your way outside, then back in and and hang out the rest of the day.
And like you said, as far as the white Christmas chances, because I came across a graphic from a Facebook friend in Georgia, and they said the caption was, "So you're telling me there's a chance?" And
I need to see that.
I know. I'm gonna.
We gotta check that. Now, maybe historically, like they have the mountains of Georgia have less than like a 10% chance to see a white Christmas climatologically. So maybe it was a on average.
And I need to
so
see how
early
old
this
that post is too, because it might be expired. But
yeah, one of those oldies but a goodies.
Right, right.
But yeah, I mean, it is going to be so warm. I mean, even in the Northeast and even in the mountains of like the Carolinas.
So you have to go west for, like you said, any shot at it, and even that's very small.
Yeah, because the thing that happens, let me see if I can bring up some telestration here. I don't know if our lovely producer, Kathleen, could switch the source to one of the Maxes, Max 1, if she's listening to that.
She said, yeah.
Awesome. I'm gonna show you something. We're gonna bust out the telestration here. All right. So this is the Euro model. So I'm gonna start right here first.
And of course, people traveling are kind of nervous too because it's already so crowded. So
yeah.
We're looking at this.
That stuff. I'm trying to bring the mic over here. I'm struggling.
Okay,
I'm a mess.
don't.
No, you're good. We're doing this, and we're laid back. We're just hanging out. This is it looks polished on the television side, but when there's a lot of stuff going on, this is what we get. So we love to bring that to you. All right, so this is the European model through 8 o'clock on Monday. Obviously, Monday is Christmas, and it is running a little bit behind of what the American GFS model is. So for us anyway, this is what we're looking at. So this is, again, Christmas. So I want to zoom out to kind of show you the mountains of Georgia.
Yeah, see that all up through green. North Carolina and Tennessee.
All green. So I'm going to save this pause point here. We're editing this in real time. I want to bust out the telestration.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do that. And I'm gonna show you why it's gonna be so warm.
Yeah.
Let me get to this next pause point. Zoom this out. So as we have this big area of low pressure right here, you see all the snow on the back end of that towards Denver. What's going on here is we have this dip in the jet stream out here. So all of the cold air is rushing, but then we have a ton of warmth being sent right up the Appalachians. And I mean, we're talking like 50s and 60s, like as far north as here. So it is going to be crazy. I hate to burst the bubble of anybody that's traveling in the East and wants to see snow. It's terrible. It's terrible. I love snow. I'm a big snow fan. I know I'm in the wrong spot for it. It's so hard this year.
Right.
So hard.
Yeah.
Not the right. That's typical of El Nino.
Well, I count myself very fortunate that I did get to see a few patches up there near the Poconos a couple weekends ago. So that was nice. So
cool. Yeah, they did get a little bit of snow up there. That's
awesome. A few patches, yeah. Well, thanks, Jonathan. We're looking forward to it. At least things are nice and clear, like you said, for people getting a lot of things done and getting ready to hit the roads right now. So we'll take it.
And you're going to pay more for it, too. My gosh, have you seen those prices? We were just talking about how low they were, 2 days ago?
Well, I got it for $2.55 at Costco just day before yesterday. Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I'm curious to see when I go back to fill up,
I passed up a $265, and then I saw it go up, and I'm like, I had to get the $275 the next day, and now it's, over $310?
I know.
That's crazy.
I know.
It's just changing all the time.
I know. And, that's a combo meal. I said it. I saved I could get 4 for $4 with what I saved. So, hey.
No kidding, right?
Yeah.
It's nuts.
All right. Well, Jonathan, thank you. I hope that your day is powered by Ezzy Castro's Cafecito like mine is.
I took that down about an hour ago. It's starting to hit.
I have to take it slow with these. It's a lot of caffeine.
It's a lot.
So, but I appreciate her too this morning. So shout out to Ezzy Castro for the Cafecito, helping us get through this Friday Junior. She's over there laughing. All right, Jonathan, thank you. We'll check in with you later.
Bridgett.
All right. We have some breaking traffic news we want to get to. Trooper Steve is standing by in Results 1, and we noticed something on the traffic cameras just a few minutes ago. Steve, good morning.
Good morning, Bridget. Yeah, let's get right to business this morning, especially because today is going to be one of the biggest travel days when it comes to both air and out on our roadways. And when it comes to a crash, one of the worst spots happen in, especially during the holidays, the track area. So right now, this is going to be eastbound I-4. So you're going from eastbound towards maybe 528, right? So from 535. Two really blocked here. Looks like fire rescue and ambulance is now leaving that scene. But the crews just went on scene out there
Mm.
probably only 10 minutes ago, Bridget. So this is fairly fresh. I'm going to move to the map here so you can see where exactly I'm talking about. Look how thick this
Oh
is right now.
no.
So this is those eastbound lanes. Normally this area is already heavily delayed. Now we have
Right.
2 lanes blocked. I think this is going to thick out all the way towards the Champions
Mm.
Gate area with the next few minutes because it is an overturned box truck. You can see DOT cam, that white vehicle facing the wrong way and on its
And
side.
that's
So it's going
already
to
such a
obviously
tough
take a few.
spot.
You know that spot better than most of us.
I mean,
So
you're coming
yeah,
out
it
of
is very
Disney. You're
busy.
trying to get to that,
Yep.
expressway to get to the airport. You're trying to get to downtown. Oh, what a mess.
Yeah, so look at that first drive time. That's what we're looking at right now. It's going to be Osceola Parkway to Colonial, and you have to travel through that area, both Osceola,
Mm.
536, 535, and then the crash right there at Central Florida Parkway brings our drive times up to 43 minutes. Just went down
Mm.
42 minutes. I think we're going to sit there probably for the next maybe half hour at this drive time, if not a little longer. But if you're coming from Seminole, not too bad. We do have a crash up in Ormond Beach. Based off of what FHP is saying, the roadway is still closed out there. I'm going to draw a little arrow of where the crash was located at right there. So it's going to be US 1 northbound at Bayberry Road in the Ormond Beach area. Fatal crash reported a little while ago out there, so just be cautious. And then we just cleared up one at 472 at 4101 in the DeLand area. Always nice to clear these crashes up. And then you can see our main metro area, east and westbound right now, super slow. But Bridget, let me tell you,
Mm-hmm.
yesterday going home, I need a lot of people to pay attention to this. I'm sure you probably saw it too.
Mm-hmm.
The ramps, exit
Mm-hmm.
ramps, were
Mm-hmm.
heavily
Oh
backed
yeah.
up in
Mm-hmm.
Conroy area, Altamont, all the shopping areas
Oh
and
yeah.
stuff like that. So people need to be on it, not only paying
Right.
attention to what their surroundings, but traffic's going to stop quick on them. So you need to make
Yeah.
sure you're paying attention, not super distracted, because I put a little tweet out yesterday.
Yeah.
Look, be kind, be patient, don't be stressed, and we're all in some sort going through the holiday
Right.
fog right
Right.
now. So you've got to be super, super cautious because if you're stressed, guess what? The driver
Right.
next to you is stressed
And it's
out
and
too.
it's and
So
it's very
nice and
good to
easy.
go ahead and know sort of what lane you need to be in to get to your exit because then that box truck probably got confused or I don't who knows what happened, but
Right.
a sudden jerk to just try to change lanes and boom. So and
I
for the
love hearing
locals
you
to
guys
take
repeat.
take an alternate right now, right?
Yeah, just get off. If you look, if it's the holiday week, I think most people will understand if you're going to be late a few minutes here and there just because of the non-residents that are in town. So if you could avoid that area right now, maybe take County Road 535 up to
Yeah.
408 and bypass that. This is going to increase a little bit, but I believe we'll push out a push alert on the new 6 app, which is
Mhm.
free. And I love those push notifications because it lets people know, hey,
Mhm.
something's going on. So let me see what's
Right.
going on right now. So make sure you have that set up.
And I'd much rather take a longer detour that's not as stressful than to be in that bumper to bumper backup, right?
Preach.
Right?
Preach. You and
Yeah.
I talk about that all the time. Like I'll take 417 sometimes just
Mhm.
to avoid sitting through that downtown I-4 kind of
Yeah.
backup, just because to
Yeah.
keep moving and I don't want to be around all
Right.
those other cars.
Right. So what are you up to today? You said yesterday you checked out speeders around the Bumby area,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, so I have this. It's funny. People make fun of this. This is do you recognize this? So
Um,
this is for sports. And this is to calculate like baseball players. It's a
okay.
speed measuring device. It works the exact same for cars, same technology, but obviously we can't write tickets with this. It's just for speed observation. So we went out there towards the downtown area off of Rayford, and we were able to monitor some speed in a residential area. And some of them 10, 15
Mm,
miles over the speed limit, doing 50,
mm,
55, and a 30.
mm.
Crazy. So
You caught
today,
them.
Bridget, though, yeah, today I'm headed out to MIMS, US 1 and 46. complaint about drivers using a bicycle lane as a turning lane. So we're going to talk about the laws when stuff like that, and maybe observe some of those folks violating the right of way.
Okay, I'm curious to see how that turns out. So that's coming up at, you said 8:30 or
That's going to be a 10 a.m. stream
10
today because
a.m.
it'll
10
take
a.m.
me a little
Okay.
bit to get out. To take me a little
All
bit to
right.
get out there.
All right. Well, take it easy. We'll see you then.
Bye.
Thanks, Trooper Steve. Well, we have our Katrina Scales back today with your Florida Daily previews, and she has told us about a lot of exciting things. The past couple days, we talked about the history of the Florida history of Hooters. She took us on a deep dive into the state's archive system in Tallahassee, and today it's a very big story, Katrina, when it comes to one of our major industries here in Florida, the citrus industry. You've been looking at a lot of the problems that have been plaguing us. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. Yeah, I've got another special episode on Top Tap that's going to be published next week while I'm out, all about the citrus industry, the troubles that it has faced, and maybe some of the hopeful news when it comes to solving the biggest problem, which is citrus greening.
And this has been going on for some time now, and this multi-billion-dollar industry has really been threatened by this. And of course, farmers, really hurt by something that feels like it's out of their control.
Yeah, and these farmers over at Butrico Groves, which is actually not far from where Steve's going for his live stream, over in Mims in northern Brevard County. I ate a lot of oranges while I was
Oh,
at
yeah.
Butrico Groves. But these two citrus farmers were nice enough to take me a tour around the farm and talk about how they are part of the solution when it comes to citrus greening. They get these things called root stocks from the USDA that have been genetically modified to hopefully to be resistant from greening. It's paired with a sweet orange bud, and that grows into a tree that produces fruit that may or may not be resistant. And here's the thing, one of the craziest takeaways from my day there, it takes 8 years for a tree to mature from a seedling to a tree that will produce fruit. So it's a huge gamble they're taking when they're starting these things from the ground and ultimately harvesting them.
And you grew up around here, and many of us live in communities that used to be groves, or maybe you have a few stray citrus trees still in the backyard or in the brush like nearby, and so that's always fun. But this greening disease, can you explain like how it works, how it's deteriorated the plants themselves? Like what happens?
So the greening is actually a flying bug. It's this tiny thing called an Asian psyllid, and it flies from tree to tree, and it's essentially its saliva gets into the plant, and it causes this chemical reaction in the plant that sucks it of all nutrients. It basically can't hold in nutrients, and it eventually dies, and the bug goes from the next tree to the next tree, infecting all of them. And in fact, there's not a single citrus tree in pretty much the entire world at this point that hasn't been affected by citrus greening. So it's a worldwide problem. And in Florida, where most of our oranges are used for juice, it's caused pretty much every single major orange juice producer. They can't sell orange juice exclusively from Florida oranges. Even Florida Natural.
That's shocking.
Last year they changed this on the back of their carton. If you look closely, it says it's a blend of Florida and Mexican oranges because they just didn't have enough Florida ones to squeeze.
Right. So is it Florida, Mexico, California? Are those like the top areas still for
A lot
citrus?
of them come from Brazil. So South America, Brazil is a huge exporter. And the actual oranges you get at the grocery store, they're typically from California. And hey, get this. The outside, the beautiful, shiny orange color, that's a dyed color. The oranges you're seeing me eat here at the groves naturally are this kind of greenish, yellowy color.
Yeah.
And so it's really great to go to your local orange groves.
And you and I
support
talked
their
about that.
business.
I go out to Hollyanna fruit stand out there on 1792 in Maitland, and I've gone there. I've been here 13 years, and I always go there this time of year because this is citrus season. It's very short, but the variety of citrus that you can get, and everyone has, their favorites. Like you and I talked about honey bells, and just some of the other oranges that in citrus that it might not look pretty, but it's actually really tasty.
the ugliest fruit is always the best. That's what Butrico Farms taught me. And hey, while you're mentioning Pollyanna Farms, our Click-O team just published an amazing article all about that fruit stand in Maitland. It's a great interview talking about the owners that run it. And if you're in the Orlando area, it's pretty much the closest
Oh,
place
yeah.
to get a real Florida orange. I went all the way out to Mims for this one, so it's a little closer than
Yeah,
that.
I would get bags of their citrus and take it back to the Carolinas and Georgia over the holidays, and people would always ask for more the next year, so it's that good. It's worth the trip if you don't live close
Worth
to
it.
Maitland.
It's just better. It's sweeter and it's fresher. So next time you want to zest an orange and stuff, keep those carcinogen dyes in mind when you're buying one from the grocery store. It's probably better to go with a natural Florida orange.
Now, what did you do with all the oranges they gave you as samples? Because I know at one point you were asking around for a juicer.
I ate a lot of oranges that week, let me tell you. I juiced most of them, and then I tried to incorporate the other ones into my lunch every single day for
Yeah.
about a week. So I
You were
was
good on vitamin
full
C.
of
Well, this is so great, and I like that it's positive and that there's some hope there in how they're able to work with some of the genetics to try to fight the greening. So that's good news, Katrina. Thank you for this installment. And what day can we look for this one?
That'll be next Friday, so a week
Next
from
Friday.
tomorrow.
All right, awesome. So look for Your Florida Daily anywhere you get your podcast. And Katrina, thank you so much for all these updates the past couple days. And Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to you. And we'll see you next time.
Yeah.
We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back. Welcome back. We were talking about the weather earlier with Jonathan and how this is the time that the travel's ramping up at Orlando International Airport. They are estimating to break some records here now that travel has picked back up. They're estimating more than 162,000 travelers to pass through just today in the terminals. And this is the busiest day to be expected until Monday, January 2nd. They're expecting that to be another very busy day. Overall, 4 million passengers expected from now through January 7th, and that would be a new record if that happens. And so they have opened a new surface parking lot that's set to open tomorrow to help with crowds. Parking is a premium out there right now, so look into your parking options before you get there if you need to park. Passengers are being asked to follow the 3-2-1 rule, they're calling it. Get to the airport 3 hours before your flight, be in the security line 2 hours before, and at the gate 1 hour before. Of course, we wish you safe travels if you do have to head out there into that. Godspeed. We also want to tell you about an interview that's coming up in the Setting the Stage newsletter produced by our producer Brooke Savage, and it's a bi-weekly newsletter that you can sign up for on our newsletters page on clickorlando.com. She got to catch up with someone I would call one of my childhood icons, Kel Mitchell. And if you grew up watching
Hey, my name
Nickelodeon,
is Brooke. I'm
here
a
she is
producer
with
here
more about that. She's
at News 6, and I'm also the Setting the Stage newsletter writer. And joining me today is a very familiar face, especially for millennials. He's known for all that, Keenan and Kel, Good Burger 1 and 2, and so much more. Kel Mitchell, thank you so much for joining us today.
Oh man, thank you for having me.
Yeah.
All right, so Brooke has the full interview for you with Kel Mitchell on clickorlando.com. And of course, you can sign up for the free Setting the Stage newsletter, and it hits inboxes tomorrow. So go to clickorlando.com/newsletter to subscribe. But Kel Mitchell is right there, up there with some of those stars I grew up watching. A lot of young talent now, grown up with their own families as well, but still in the business. So they recently put together a movie, Good Burger 2, which is based off of a sketch from their show, Keenan and Kel and all that. And if you watched Nickelodeon growing up like I did, you recognize that face. And of course, he is part of Keenan and Kel. And Keenan, of course, now, a longtime comedian and actor on Saturday Night Live, movies and more. So really proud of them that they're still out there entertaining and, doing just really the things that their talents lend them to do. So Brooke caught up with him, and she always has updates on what's going on with the theater scene and the performing scene around Central Florida. So sign up for Setting the Stage. That's going to do it today for Breakfast with Bridgett. And Jonathan Kegas is coming up with more in-depth looks at your weather and current conditions right here on News 6 Plus. And of course, Trooper Steve coming up at 10 a.m. So we're asking you to send us what you'd like to hear about right here on BWB at WKMG.com. Have a great day. Tomorrow's Friday. I'll see you here at 7:30.